We are with Iman Isanovic, outside hitter for Arizona State. Now, Iman, I know you're from Bosnia, but can you help me out with the other part that you're from?
Yeah, so it's Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's hard.
Herzegovina.
Roll scars.
So how's it been coming to the US for your first year?
It's been really fun, actually. It like coming to the US this year. I mean, last year. It wasn't that big of a transition or that big of a shock maybe for me as it's to all other college freshmen because it wasn't my first time transitioning. Because since I was 16, I actually haven't been living home because I was studying and playing in Slovenia, in Koper, Slovenia, that's right on the coast, right next to Italy. So it was very fun. But anyways, I was there for 3 years. I finished high school there and played in Slovenian like first league. So I get to go through that like initial transition there. So when I came here, I was more excited than anything.
And one thing I know about you is that you speak really good English. So coming here, I hear you have a better vocabulary than the majority of Americans. So how did you learn English so well?
Well, that's a funny story because when I was little, I actually watched a lot of cartoons and we had like Cartoon Network. And I absolutely loved all the cartoons there. So I was just watching it 24/7. Like I knew, I don't know, I was like first grade and I knew like by this time when this cartoon is on, I have to go to school because I couldn't read the clock, but I knew exactly when this cartoon is on, I'm just like off to school. So it was really fun. And we didn't have like any subtitles also. So I just like I had to learn. But funny enough, I was watching the like German cartoon kind of TV program, I don't know, and I didn't catch any of that. Like my German is so bad, but thankfully it worked for English. So
Yeah, incredible. Just listening to you, and you're like just a year into the US. This is incredible. How many languages do you speak?
well, I speak proficiently English, I hope. My mother language, which is Bosnian, but funny enough, when you're like from that part of the world, you can say, oh, I know Bosnian, Croatian, Serbian, Montenegrin, and like basically those are the same languages. Like the difference between those languages are like between American and British English. But you just get to be fancy here and say that you know so many languages. But yeah, I speak Bosnian and all others that come with it, English, and I'm also like very good in Slovenian because that's where I finished my high school. That's where I lived actually for 3 years. And then I learned German. I lost a lot of my German vocabulary, but I also learned Italian for 3 years when I was in Slovenia. So I could like come around there. I could survive, let's say.
Yeah, what a life you've already lived. That's absolutely incredible. And I want to ask you, so in the US, what we have a high school system, we have a club, pretty much club volleyball. What's the system like where you're from? How did you get involved in volleyball?
Well, we don't really have the same system that you have, like with all the like high school programs and like we have clubs, but it's like, let's say when I'm like 13 or 14, I can already play with like people who are like 30 years or like have, I don't know how many, like 20 years of experience like playing volleyball. So it's like, it's just more, I don't know, inclusive, let's say, because here, like I see in clubs you play like in certain age groups, whereas in like in Europe in general, it's just like all around. You can play in whatever level you want to. So when I started playing volleyball, I was playing with my teammates that were like around the same age as I was. But when I went to Slovenia, I had also like girls who were my age and who were like going to high school and college. And then I had like few teammates who had, I don't know, 2 kids. It's fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I've actually, when I played in Spain, I played with a 40-year-old woman with a six-pack and an 18-year-old daughter that could ball. Yes.
So I had this one teammate and she is I think like 32, 3 years old. She has like 2 kids, like 2 young kids that she like has to take care of, and she is like ripped, like six pack, like muscles. I'm like, I want to look like that when I have 2 kids.
Gee, I want to look like that now with no kids.
I mean that too.
Yeah. So what's it been like? What's your favorite part about coming to Arizona State?
My favorite part about coming to Arizona State would be, I don't know, I have to say everything except food. I really miss my Bosnian cuisine. I mean, I absolutely like adore the girls, and they were like so welcoming, and also just because they're like when you're in Europe, you're not quite experienced in the whole American like system, collegiate like system, because it's just not as popular back home because there are so many more like professional leagues there. And I had this picture of America that, I mean, okay, it's good volleyball. I knew for a fact that I had like great coaches, but I didn't know exactly the level of volleyball I was signing up to. And when I came here, I was just like, well, this is even better than what I expected because the volleyball is on a such high level. And especially when we started playing in the Pac-12, I was amazed how really good people were for like their ages. Like they were really like technically and tactically crafted. So that was really mind blowing. And just like playing with the girls who were really talented too, and of course the coaches were absolutely amazing. They are like one of the top priorities on my list for coming here because I definitely wanted someone who can help me grow as a player. And I mean, I love the weather too, and I love the school. Everything just it is just like a dream.
So I'm curious, those international players that maybe are looking to play in America, what advice would you have for them?
I would just say keep on going because I mean if I manage to come from Bosnia, which is like such a small place that doesn't necessarily have the like biggest background in volleyball, it's if I could make it from there, you can make it like from anywhere. I would say you just have to have like a certain level of dedication, and also that's kind of like that will and grind in yourself. Like you just have to be willing not to like go through everything. It's actually like a Latin saying which is like per aspera destra, translates like through hardships to the stars. And it's like it's definitely hard to come here, but like when you do, you feel that just that level of satisfaction that is undescribable.
Well, I'm sure Arizona State, they're so glad to have you there. So what do you want to do after college? And even, do you want to go play back overseas?
Yeah, I certainly do. I mean, I'm gonna take these years that I have here, like into the full. I'm just gonna try to get the full potential out of them and to get as good of a volleyball player as I can. Because having Sadi as my like head coach, it's really really good for me because like she's just teaching me things that I actually never like thought about. So I'm hoping when I go back overseas to play pro, I will be like in a better shape that I could have ever been if I would have stayed there. So I definitely look forward to those like professional days, but I'm just like now focusing on what's in front of me.
Yeah, just incredible. The amount of languages you know, the student that you are, the determination that you have. So what are some career goals apart? Like, let's separate volleyball for a second. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, that's a pretty interesting question because now I'm currently studying political science with a certificate in religion and conflict. Given that I come from a geographic area that is so like diverse and that it doesn't have the best history. I mean, it's just like known for bad things. I just find it interesting, like growing up there to kind of understand better where I come from. And hopefully one day like my ultimate goal would be to just, I don't know, work for UN or like organizations as like similar to that, just like to help people.
Yeah, well, what you've done already in the world of volleyball, coming here and the childhood to even live outside your house at a young age to build that volleyball career to get you over here. Your sky's the limit. Like I'm just already cheering for you, and I'm just meeting you that I'm thinking I am a fan of yours already. So I cannot wait to see what you do.